What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Before the Odds. It's your boy, Pick 5 Johnny. I know it's been a couple weeks. Last time you heard from us, it was the Travers. Well, now it is time. We are talking about the Breeders' Cup. We got a lot of content to cover. And first and foremost, before I say anything else, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, guys. We really appreciate all the new follows. This has been one heck of a year, and it hasn't even been a full year yet. Can't wait for next year. Can't wait for all the exciting stuff coming out, going to different racetracks. But let me not get too excited. Let's talk about this Breeders' Cup. And we're talking about the Breeders' Cup race. And I'm going to tell you why I think one of these older horses who you can get a good price on might upset this field of really good 3-year-olds. Let's take a look at some of the older horses that have won in the past. Obviously, last year, Flightline. There was no other horse like him. All right, that horse was ridiculous. We go another year back. We've got Knicks Go. Knicks Go, another horse around 2 turns was something serious. Tried to bring him back in the Pegasus. He got beat by Life is Good, and that was that. Retired a really good horse. That was a really good story, actually, also. So a lot of older horses have won this race. Going into this race, I definitely know that our favorite is going to be Arrogate. Good, of course, not Arrogate, Arcangelo, the son of Arrogate. To me, it's not a wide open field, but there are a couple older horses I think you get a price on. A horse I really like in here, and I'm going to give you 3, but one I really like is Proxy. This horse hasn't run a bad race all year. And I know I did the Stephen Foster, and actually he ran his worst race on that day. But other than that, he's had some really good races. A second, a first, and a second. So he's run top 2, place or win, in a lot of his races this year, and I think he could come up big. You know, you could give him the excuse for the Pegasus. It was the first off the layoff, and you could give him the excuse for the Stephen Foster. Had a horrendous trip and didn't end up finishing well. Comes back, you know, runs in the Gold Cup at Saratoga and runs really well. Runs a great second to Bright Future. I thought, and Proxy could have easily got him on the wire if a little bit of a better trip. But I think Proxy to me is this better older horse that will run his heart out. He runs his heart out every time, unless he's going to get stopped or he has to be pulled up. And you never know. These older horses can come out and intimidate some of these younger horses and end up running a better figure than others. So if I had to give you my top 3, we've got Proxy, right? Proxy to me has been the most consistent. If I look back, Drosselmeyer got second in the Gold Cup, second in the Brooklyn, and 4th in the Challenger in that 1 year and ended up winning the Breeders' Cup. I think if Proxy wins, it would be a similar story to those horses. I really do like Proxy as an older horse. The other 2, the second one, you know, self-explanatory with the last race he's run after being claimed, is White Abarrio. White Abarrio ran one heck of a race at Saratoga. Looked really good, just finishing, just bursting past everybody. Looking like he wanted the 1.25 miles, right? Because they're going 1.25 miles here. Proxy has run the 1.25 miles, has run well. And, you know, White Abarrio hasn't run the 1.25 miles since the Kentucky Derby that he ran, which it wasn't the greatest, but you know, it is what it is. But, you know, it looked like the way he finished that race, he wants the 1.25 miles, and he will run better going to the Breeders' Cup. But we will have to see and wait and find out. And finally, Ushpa Tesoro. This is an interesting horse because no one really knows about this horse. I watched his last race. Now, granted, it was in March. It was Dubai World Cup. And he got first, ran really well, came flying at the end. The only reason I'd have this horse on here, I'm going to be honest with you, is because two years ago at Santa Anita, we had some really good horses from Japan come in and get some big victories. Love Only You on the turf. Love's Only You on the turf. And Marsh Lorraine on the dirt. All right, the filly. The mare getting the win at like an incredible price over some good horses. I think Dunbar Road ended up finishing 2nd in there. So that was why I have him in here. I don't know if he's going to be ready or not, but they are gearing towards the Breeders' Cup. And Japan always brings something, especially to the West Coast. So that should be an interesting horse with a good price. The good thing about all these older horses, if you have an opinion on them, if you know they're going to run their best race, if you know White Abarrio is going to continue to improve, if you think, like me, Proxy has a really good shot in here because he has run consistent all year and his figures are just up there with anybody else in this race. And you don't think these 3-year-olds will improve that much, right? And really, it's just about Arcangelo to me and, Forte, maybe Mage. But if you think that about these old horses, you're going to get a really good price. I already see some good prices overseas. And I'm sure on the day, Proxy, White Barrio, Ushpa Tesoro, maybe White Barrio 6-7 to 1. But I think Proxy 10 to 1, Ushpa, 12 to 1. You're going to get a good price. But yes, that is my top 3. And that is it for the show with Pick 5 Johnny. And we are talking about why we think an older horse could win this year's Breeders' Cup. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. More content coming out for you as we get closer to these big races. 2 months out, so you better start your prep now because it's going to come up quick. So appreciate you guys. Love you guys like always. Thank you for tuning in. Let's go, Breeders' Cup 2023.